Hello and welcome. Today we are going to go ahead and take a look at the Nova Hunter. So, a Hunter line of ships are designed for bounty hunters who are attempting to bring home targets alive. This means that they all have to have a holding cell, and beyond that, there's no real restrictions. Um, a hunting ship could go ahead and be for a solo hunter going out on his own, or it could be for a whole team of hunters who are going out and trying to capture targets as a group. The only other restriction for the hunter class ships is that they are limited to Starship Design rank 2 or less. This means that they are more mid-game ships. So this is something that you can build and play with somewhere between like levels 20 and levels 40. Um, what, but they are not late game ships that you have to wait till you're already level 60 to be able to build and play around with. Now, with the hunter ships, if you've played Starfield at all, you know that the holding cells are basically cosmetic. There's no actual purpose to them. You cannot actually capture targets alive. So this is purely for roleplay purposes and to pretend that you are actually a bounty hunter. Since we're already role-playing with that, I also decided that for these ships, we are going to include suppressive weaponry. If you have played at all, you probably know that you can take one rank of the targeting skill, and then you can choose to shoot specific parts of enemy ships, like say the engines, and then after they're disabled, you can then board the enemy ship and take it down that way. Um, this means that suppressive weaponry is kind of irrelevant. However, since we're already role playing some, just take it a little bit further and pretend like the suppressive weaponry actually means something. So let's go ahead and take a tour of this ship. Alright, so you see that you are immediately entering into the Nova 2x2 brig. The Nova brig has two holding cells here and here. Interesting note about these holding cells is that you can open them with this computer right over here. However, after you open them, you can't close them. I'm pretty sure this is unintended behavior, but, well, I guess we have to live with it. Um, so since the Nova, or the only way a Nova only ship can get holding cells is with this 2x2 hab, I decided that Nova, if they were building a hunter class ship, would tend to build one for more of a team of hunters, not for individual hunters. So because of that, I went ahead and made sure that there's plenty of sleeping for the whole team. So right back here, we have the Nova 2x1 living quarters. We've got a bathroom, two beds. We've got the galley right over here, and seating for people to sit and eat their meal at. Um, then, coming on over here, we have this doorway right here, which is leading into the armory. So you can go ahead and store all of the weapons that you might need, as well as any spare ammo you need. And then behind the armory, we have the infirmary. So if you do end up getting injured, or if you end up injuring your target, you can go ahead and treat them in here. If you are injuring your target, consider using slightly less force next time. Next, we're going to come up into the Cabot Bridge. Always love using any excuse to use this bridge because I just love it. Then we enter into the 2x2 battle stations. We can see right here we have our docking axis. There's a nice big navigation console right here. And then we can swing around this corner, and we've got some more computer equipment back here, as well as the random and completely unnecessary ladder to go back downstairs. Behind this, we have the captain's quarters. So the Nova captain's quarters is interesting in that it's the only one that does not have a bathroom in it, but in exchange, it has a galley. I guess you don't want to have to move far to get your midnight snack if you're the captain. Okay, and then we've got one more hat to look at, and then right over here you can see that we have the 2x1 all-in-one berth B. This is providing us with another 3 beds and our second bathroom. Of note here, this all-in-one berth does not include a galley. We do have a random, looks like a microwave, but that's all that this hab comes with. So overall, we have 6 beds, 2 baths, and, well, 2 holding cells. Let's go ahead and take a look at how to build the ship.
Got anything you need to offload? Okay, no problem.
So, because this is a Nova Galactic ship, everything that you need can be found right here on New Homestead on Titan, and you do not need to go anywhere else. However, you can see that I am making use of the ship flip glitch, so you will need to have that enabled in your settings. Alright, so let's go ahead. Very first task, let's go ahead and get our colors in our palette. And for this ship, I decided to go with a red and gold theme. And then I'm going to select all and delete. Now, this particular ship is a C-class ship. I did it this way because since suppressive weaponry has a rather short range, I wanted a ship that was more capable of brawling. However, after some experimentation, since I want to demonstrate these ships on extreme difficulty, this ship was not able to operate on extreme difficulty without the particle cannons. So I decided whatever and swapped 2 particle cannons. But I kept the Class C, so that way it is something that can still get in and tangle, and it doesn't need to immediately run away if somebody looks at it funny. Alright, so first things first, let's go ahead and grab our brig. We're going to place that right there, so that the landing bay is on the right-hand side of it, and then fully covers it. And over here, we're going to go to the 2x1 armory. And then on the back here, let's grab our infirmary. And then we will grab our living quarters. Then, right here, the kind of center piece here, I'm going to go ahead and grab my cockpit, which is going to be the Cabot C4. Note you could go with one of the other Cabot bridges if you really wanted to, but, you know, since I'm limiting it to Starship Design Rank 2, just go with the best one that's available. Next, clicking on the center here, I'm going to go to the 2x2 and I'm going to select the battle stations. Then, clicking here, I'm going to grab the all-in-one berth B. And then, clicking here, I'm going to grab the captain's quarters. Finally, let's go ahead and grab the docker. And there you go. That is all the habitable portions of this ship. Now, before we go any further then, let's go ahead and look at the bottom here, and let's grab our reactor. So as I said, this is a Class C ship, and if we are limiting ourselves to Starship Design Rank 2 or less, the best Class C reactor we can get is going to be the Fuser DC-4-2. This is giving us a 34 power. Now I will note there are other Class C reactors available to us. We can go with the Pinch C9, which is only providing 30 power. We can do the SF30, which also provides 34 power. However, the SF30 does not have top, bottom, or back connection points, whereas the Fuser DC-402 does. And with how I ended up building this ship, I decided that having that extra connection point right here to stick the grav drive on was helpful. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and grab that grav drive. Now, for this ship, after going ahead and building it and seeing what my ending mass was, I was too heavy to go with the 23 grav jump thrust. I like the Helios 300 or the R3000, so I grabbed the Helios 400. Now, I could also go ahead and grab like the Aurora 11G or even one of the Class C grav drives. However, I don't need this much grav jump thrust, and therefore going with the cheaper and lighter option here works out for me. All right, next, let's go ahead and finish up the bottom sum. Right up here, I'm going to go ahead and grab NG20 landing gear in the 4 configuration. And then I'm going to copy this and go to the just NG20 kind of mid configuration right there. Then let's go on over to the structural components. I'm going to grab a Nova Cowling 2LBM. This is kind of the middle bottom. And then over this one, I'm going to go ahead and grab the cargo, which is going to be the 10T hauler cargo. So of note here, if you like the look of it more, you can swap these out for the wide configuration. And then the other thing that you could consider doing is taking this and putting something like this, so that way it's trying to merge in a little bit more with the landing gear in front. It's just whether you like this look more or you like this look more. So there's a little bit more of a lip around this on this one. But for what I've been demonstrating, this is what I went with. Next up, let's go ahead and continue with structural components. So let's go ahead and grab the Nova Cowling. And I'm going to place one right here. And then I'm going to copy it, flip it, and then I'm flipping this into place right here. Then just copy them, place them there and there. And then we will go ahead and copy and do the middle variant right here. All right, now that we've got that, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come right here. And rather than grabbing structural here, we're going to grab fuel tanks. And I'm running a pair of the M30 Ulysses HE3 tanks on this ship. Now, the big note here is this is virtually identical to the Nova Cowling Mid, and it lines up perfectly with them. So, speaking of which, there we go. And that wraps up that portion. Next, let's come back on over to the structural, and we're going to grab this. I'm going to place one of these here, and then we're going to place one of those there. And then right here, we're going to grab this Nova Cowling. And then we're going to copy this and put it here. Copy this and put it here. And then flip this into place. And flip that into place. There we go. Then let's go ahead and grab this cowling. And copy it again. And now we've got the front and the back, so that's one LPF and one LPA. And then we are going to copy it on over, flip it over for the One on SF and one on SA. Okay. Now then, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to grab our engines. So for this, on this ship, I'm using 4 Ares DT50s. Note the best one is the Ares DT60, but that requires Starship Design rank 3. So this is the best that I have access to. These do require 2 power each, so putting 4 of these on does only take up 8 power. However, you can see we still don't have our shield yet, and we also don't have our weapons, but we're only at 70 mobility. This is not quite enough for what we're looking for. So I decided to also go ahead and add one White Dwarf 3020 engine located right here. This temporarily brings us up to 93 mobility, but I promise that is going to drop. Next, let's move that out of the way. And we're going to grab our shield. Now, the best shield that you can get at Starship Design Rank 2 and C-Class Reactor is going to be the Odin 3040. So we're just going to place that right there, and then flip that into place over top of it. And you can see we have dropped to 81 mobility. Alright, from here, this is the basic shape of the entire ship. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add the weapons. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the suppressive weaponry. So I decided to run 4 of the Fulminator 8000 suppressors, just because I was looking at it and I think that's better than the EMP 1000s. And since I'm Class C, I might as well use the Class C suppressors. And these are 3 power each, so just stick them wherever. Next, the actual weapons that we're going to be using. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves. I've got 4 Disruptor 3340A auto alpha beams. And then I have 4 PBO 300 auto alpha beams. And there you have it. Now I do still have an error. It's that I need to assign my weapons. There we go. Weaponry is assigned. And all that's left now is to paint the ship. There we have it. So, now that we've seen how the ship is built, let's go ahead and hit accept. Let's go ahead and take this out to Serpentis and see if we can't go ahead and capture something. And this is me just looking around and seeing how the ship feels as it's flying. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce my power to my EM weapons so I can put as much into my particle beams as I can. Then, if I get to the point where I can actually try and capture something, I can reduce power to these and then max out my EM weapon and see if I can actually take something down with it. So let's go ahead and go on out to Serpentis. Alright, now that we're here, let's go ahead and see if anything shows up to the party. Let me check. That happened a little too fast. Yep, I turned down the difficulty. That was what I was doing when I was still trying to run this ship with lasers and ballistics. In case you're wondering, it did not work out very well. Alright. Alright. Now let's go ahead and take out his shields. And then let's go ahead and put a bunch of points into our EM weapon. Alright. And of course, if you're bounty hunting, you have to dock. I believe it was a hard requirement. There we go. Oh, hi, fool. There we go. Anyways, so as the more astute viewers might be able to tell, I of course went with the stealth sniper build, which naturally means that you run around with the stealth shotgun. There we go. And clearly I used the maximum amount of non-lethal force, so I can definitely take these guys captive, right? Right? Totally part of the plan. Anyways. What? Oh. So, as always, you have to go ahead, sit in the ship, take it over, make it the home ship, and then quickly go and grab the ship that's trying to leave on you. That way you can get back on it. And now that we are here, obviously we are going to take our ship back home. There we go. All right. So that is, of course, how you would run with a bounty hunting ship. Obviously, need to go ahead and use slightly less force if you want to take any captives. But, yeah, they're just very rare. We can go ahead and just leave the bodies behind. Right? Alright. Well, if you've watched this far, thank you very much for watching. Um, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all those YouTube things. And otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Let's see if we can get any cool pictures. Here we go. Right in front of the planet. Perfect. Alright, and on that note, have a good one.